Soldier Field need to be shaken.
Man, it is caught! Touchdown! Throwing, it is caught! Touchdown! Zacchaeus, beautiful throw and catch. Olamide Zacchaeus. And ever
close this thing out.
We're ready for just about anything. We're going to go out there and fight. It's us versus.
the throw of Caleb Williams' life. The catch.
The wait is finally over, the suffering has officially ended, and the Chicago Bears are punching their ticket to the postseason for the first time since 2020. This isn't a drill, this isn't a simulation, this is absolute reality because the stars aligned, the Steelers handled business, and the monsters of the Midway are back to reclaim their throne. If you are pumped that the Bears are officially in the dance, smash that like button, share this video, and make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss a single second of this playoff run. Can you even believe what we just witnessed? I mean, seriously, take a deep breath and let it sink in. The Chicago Bears have clinched a playoff spot. It is official. We aren't looking at in the hunt graphics anymore. We are looking at a clinched berth. And we have to send a massive thank you card to the Pittsburgh Steelers. What happened in that game against the Detroit Lions was nothing short of absolute madness. It was the kind of chaos that usually goes against Chicago, but this time, the football gods were smiling down on us. If you missed the ending of that Steelers-Lions game, you missed one of the most bizarre sequences in NFL history. It felt like Pittsburgh tried to give the game away half a dozen times. You had Jaylen Warren going off for massive touchdown runs, putting the Steelers up, and then the defense would just let Detroit walk right back into it. Then, Chris Boswell, one of the most automatic kickers in the league, lines up for a chip shot that would essentially ice it. The snap is low, the timing is off, and he doinks it off the upright. At that moment, I know every single Bears fan watching was thinking, here we go again. Detroit is going to survive this. But then, the craziness really started. We saw defensive breakdowns, we saw the Lions getting bailed out by penalties, and then we got to the final play. 4th and goal. The game is on the line. Jared Goff throws it to Amon-Ra St. Brown. He catches it short of the goal line, fights for yards, the ball comes loose, Goff scoops it up and dives into the end zone. The officials signal touchdown. The Lions think they've won. The Steelers look devastated. But then, the flags come flying in. It turns out, it was offensive pass interference on the play. And because the game cannot end on a defensive penalty but absolutely can end on an offensive one, and because time had expired, the play was dead. Game over. Lions lose. Bears clinch. Rules are rules, and for once, the rulebook is our best friend. So, let me ask you this because I'm genuinely curious. At what point during that Steelers game did you actually think it was over, or were you sweating until the literal final whistle? That result changed everything. The Bears are in. And the best part? We aren't just limping in as a lucky wild card team that's happy to be there. This team is dangerous. This isn't that 2020 team that backed into the playoffs at 8-8 and got embarrassed by the Saints on Nickelodeon. That team was a pretender. This team is a contender. We are looking at a squad that is peaking at the perfect time. We are looking at a defense that is suffocating opponents and an offense that finally, has a trigger man who knows how to win when it matters most. We need to talk about Caleb Williams. There has been so much noise, so much criticism, and so many hot takes, but the kid has silenced them all. He isn't just playing well for a rookie, he is playing historic football. With the performance he put up against Green Bay and what he has done all season, he has entered legendary territory. We are talking about a guy who has led 6 fourth-quarter comebacks this season. Do you realize how insane that is? That is the most by any quarterback in the NFL this year, and it is the most ever by a Bears quarterback in a single season. Think about the names he is passing. He is leaving franchise legends in the dust. And the company he is keeping league-wide is even more impressive. Caleb has tied Peyton Manning's record for fourth-quarter comebacks by a quarterback under the age of 25. Peyton Manning. The Sheriff. That is the trajectory we are on right now. We aren't just watching a good quarterback. We are watching the early stages of greatness. I know some people panic about the slow starts. I get it. The first halves of games can sometimes feel like a heart attack waiting to happen. But look at how this team adjusts. That is a credit to the coaching staff, specifically Ben Johnson, for making the right calls at halftime, and it's a credit to Caleb for processing what he's seeing and delivering in the clutch. He isn't shrinking in the big moments, he is getting bigger. When the pressure is highest, his pulse seems to be the lowest. That is a trait you cannot teach. You either have it or you don't, and Caleb Williams has it in spades. And let's look at the numbers because they don't lie. Through his first 32 starts, Caleb ranks first all-time among Bears quarterbacks and passer rating at 88.6. He is first in interception percentage at just 1.1%. He is already top 10 in passing yards and passing touchdowns. This is unprecedented production for this franchise. He is currently sitting just 439 yards away from breaking Eric Kramer's single-season franchise passing record of 3,838 yards. He has 2 games left to get just under 440 yards. That is completely doable. He needs to average about 220 yards a game against the Niners and the Lions. Honestly, with the way he is playing, he could drop 300 on San Francisco and break the record before we even get to Week 18. This brings me to our question of the day, and I want you to sound off in the comments section because this is going to be a heated debate. Given everything he has done, turning the culture around, sweeping the Packers, and clinching a playoff spot in his first year, is Ben Johnson the undeniable NFL Coach of the Year, or does someone else deserve it more? I want to see your votes below. Speaking of Ben Johnson, can we just take a moment to appreciate the difference in leadership? We have gone from the confused press conferences of the past to a coach who stands up there and says, "This is a special group," and you actually believe him. He has built a culture where players don't bat an eye when they are down. They don't panic. They just keep swinging. That game against Green Bay was the perfect example. Losing to them a few weeks ago could have broken this team. Instead, they rallied, they adjusted, and they delivered a knockout blow on national television. That is coaching. That is culture. Now, let's look at the road ahead because the job is not finished. Yes, we are in the playoffs, but we want the NFC North. The Detroit Lions losing to Pittsburgh didn't just put us in the postseason, it put the division on a silver platter for us. The Lions are now mathematically eliminated from winning the North. It is down to a 2-horse race, the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. And the math is beautiful in its simplicity. The Bears are 11-4. The Packers are 9-5-1. The Bears' magic number is 1. That means we need a combined total of 1 Bears win or 1 Packers loss to clinch the division. That's it. If the Bears go into San Francisco next week and win, we are the kings of the North. Period. If we stumble against the Niners, but the Packers lose to the Baltimore Ravens, we are the kings of the North. We control our own destiny, but we also have a nice cushion where Green Bay has to be perfect, and we just need 1 break to go our way. And looking at Green Bay, they are in some serious trouble. I almost feel bad for them. Almost. But not really. Matt LaFleur announced that Malik Willis is dealing with a shoulder injury to his throwing arm. He got crushed by Montez Sweat on that final sack, and he was shaking it out for the rest of the game. On top of that, Jordan Love is still in concussion protocol. If Love can't clear protocol and Willis can't throw, who is playing quarterback for them against a hungry Ravens team? We could literally clinch the division before we even kick off on Monday night depending on what happens in that Packers-Ravens game. Imagine that scenario. The Bears taking the field in San Francisco with the NFC North champions hats already printed and waiting in the locker room. It would allow them to play completely free, maybe even rest some guys if the seeding is locked up, although fighting for that number 1 seed is still a very real possibility. If the Bears win out, and Seattle stumbles, the number 1 seed and the bye week are still in play. But worst case scenario, if we win the division, we are locked into the number 2 seed. That guarantees at least 1, and likely 2, home playoff games at Soldier Field. Can you imagine the atmosphere? Soldier Field in January, hosting a playoff game against a team that has to come into our house and deal with this defense and this crowd. It gives me chills just thinking about it. The momentum is undeniable. We are healthy at the right time. We are winning in different ways. Sometimes it's a shootout, sometimes it's a defensive struggle, sometimes it's a fourth quarter comeback. That is the mark of a championship team. They find ways to win when it isn't pretty. And right now, everyone in that locker room believes. You've heard Ben Johnson say it. You've heard Caleb say it. They know they are building something special. So, Bears fans, enjoy this. Soak it in. You survived the rebuild. You survived the dark years. You survived the double dunks and the blowouts. You are here now. The Chicago Bears are back in the playoffs. They are on the verge of taking the North, and nobody wants to play this team right now. I want to hear your one-word reaction to this playoff clinch. Drop it in the comments. Is it relief? Excitement? Destiny? Let me know what you are feeling. We are going to keep you updated every step of the way as we get ready for San Francisco, and hopefully a division title celebration. This is what it's all about. Bear down, baby!